Hello everyone, welcome to another video. In this video, we are going to solve the previous year question paper of STPGT Biological Science for the year 2018. So let's begin. The first question is, water vascular system is a characteristics of Ictenophora, Echinodermata, Porifera, or none of the above. The correct answer is the water vascular system is a characteristics of Echinodermata. In Funaria, Calyptra is derived from Columella, Antheridium, Archegonium, or none of the above. In Funaria, the Calyptra is derived from Archegonium. The term biosystematics was coined by Robert Brown, Gaspard Bowen, Kemp and Gilly, or none of the above. The term biosystematics was coined by Kemp and Gilly. Which of the following is excluded in Whittaker's 5 kingdom classification? Whittaker's 5 kingdom classification পঞ্চরাজ্য যে শ্রেণীবিন্যাস তার মধ্যে থেকে নিম্নলিখিত কোনটাকে রাখা হয়নি? ভাইরাসেস, algae, fungi, or bacteria. In Whittaker's 5 kingdom classification, viruses were excluded because viruses exhibits living plus non-living. Both characters are exhibited by viruses. That's why viruses were excluded from the 5 kingdom classification. The cell wall component present only in bacteria and blue-green algae is cellulose, pectin, chitin, moramic acids. The correct answer is the cell wall components of bacteria and blue-green algae is moramic acid. Which of the following is absent in viruses? এর মধ্যে থেকে কোনটা ভাইরাসের মধ্যে অনুপস্থিত? Replication, mutation, energy liberation, or none of the above. So among them, energy liberation is absent in viruses. Identify the alga which exhibits diplobiontic life cycle. এর মধ্যে থেকে কোন অ্যালগার মধ্যে diplobiontic life cycle দেখা যায়? Ectocarpus, Fucus, Spirogyra, or none of the above. So among them, Fucus exhibits diplobiontic life cycle. তার লাইফ সাইকেলটাকে ইকুয়াল দুইটা ভাগে ভাগ করা যায়, that is n and 2n, that is haploid and diploid, that is haplodiploidic. But in case of Fucus, the majority of the life cycle is 2n and n, that is diploid phase is predominant, that is diploidic. যখন diploid লাইফ সাইকেলটা ডমিনেন্ট থাকবে তাকে ডিপ্লোবায়োন্টিক লাইফ সাইকেল বলা হবে। যদি হ্যাপ্লয়েড এন্ড ডিপ্লয়েড ইকুয়াল থাকে সেটাকে বলা হয় হ্যাপ্লোডিপ্লন্টিক। Which of the following group of animals reproduce only by sexual means? এর মধ্যে কোনটা সেক্সুয়াল রিপ্রোডাকশন দেখায়? প্রোটোজোয়া, পরিফেরা, সিন্ডারিয়া, or টিনোফোরা। among them তার মধ্যে কোনটা শুধু যৌন জনন ভাবে সম্পূর্ণ করছে? The correct answer is টিনোফোরা, যার মধ্যে অনলি সেক্সুয়াল রিপ্রোডাকশন দেখা যায়। Which of the following is not a characteristics of mammals? এর মধ্যে থেকে কোনটা ম্যামেলসের ক্যারেক্টারিস্টিক্স নয়? লার্জ cerebrum and cerebellum, 10 pairs of cranial nerves, left aortic arc, 7 cervical vertebrae. So the correct answer is 10 pairs of cranial nerves is not a characteristic of mammals. The limbless amphibian is এর মধ্যে থেকে কোনটা উপাঙ্গবিহীন উভচর প্রাণী? Stonefish, hyla, buffo, or D, none of the above. The correct answer is Stonefish. Wood of gymnosperm is soft because they lack phloem fiber, thick wall tracheids, xylem fiber, or none of the above. So the correct answer is they lack xylem fiber. They do not have xylem fiber. That's why the wood is very soft. National Museum of Natural History is situated in Mexico, Washington, London, Washington, Delhi. The National Museum of Natural History is situated in Delhi. Johnson's organ is present in antenna of insect, abdomen of housefly, head of cockroach, or D, none of the above. The correct answer is the Johnson's organ is present in the antenna of insect. Which of the following is not a fungal origin? এর মধ্যে কোনটা যে ছত্রাকের থেকে উৎপন্ন হয় না? সাইট্রিক অ্যাসিড, ergotanin, clavicin, tetracycline. So among them, tetracycline is not a fungal origin. Tetracycline is found in bacteria. It is found in bacteria. Which of the following is not a characteristic of Taenia solinum? Strovilla, metamerism, proglottid, apophysis. The correct answer is metamerism. Metamerism is not found in Taenia solinum. Metamerism basically means it's the segmentation of the body, which can be seen in earthworm or leech. The stem is modified into cladoid in Casuariana, Opuntia, Euphorbia, asparagus. The correct answer is asparagus. The stem is modified into cladoid. A scorpioid cyme having all followers in the same plane is Bosterix, Cincinus, Raphidium, Raphidium. The correct answer is Raphidium. The scatulum observed in the grains of maize is comparable to which part of the monocotyledons? Endosperm, cotyledon, plumule, or none of the above. Scatulum is equivalent to cotyledon. The tendrils in passiflora develops from axillary bud, terminal bud, apical root, or none of the above. The correct answer is the tendrils in passiflora develop from axillary bud. The angular divergence of a Tristicoccus phyllotaxy is 140 degree, 180 degree, 120 degree, or 135 degree. The correct answer is 120 degree. The correct answer is 120 degree. Quiescent center is found in plants at root tip, shoot tip, leaf tip, or none of the above. The quiescent center is found in the root tips. It is found in the root tips. Lateral root in plants originates from. The lateral root যে পার্শ্বীয় মূল উদ্ভিদের কোন অংশ থেকে উৎপন্ন হয়? Endodermis, epidermis, pericycle, hypodermis. The correct answer is it develops from pericycle. The lateral root develops from pericycle. In dicotyledonous stem, intervesicular cambium develops from endodermis, pericycle, medullary rays, or none of the above. The correct answer is it develops from medullary rays. Tracheids differ from other trachary elements in having Casparian strips, being lignified, being imperforate, lacking nucleus. The correct answer is they are being imperforate. Collagen fiber are characteristic tissue of epithelial, muscle, nervous, connective. The correct answer is the collagen fiber is a characteristics of connective tissue. The area where myelin sheath is absent in nerve cell is called node of Ranvier, Schwann node, Nessels granule, or the none of the above. The correct answer is the area where the myelin sheath is absent is known as node of Ranvier. So, if this is like that, এরকম ভাবে সেলগুলা থাকবে। এই গ্যাপটাকে বলা হয় নোড অফ রেনভিয়ার। নোড অফ রেনভিয়ার। Vertebrate brain differentiates from endoderm, ectoderm, mesoderm, blastoderm. The correct answer is it develops from ectoderm. The vertebrate brain differentiates from ectoderm. Which of the following is not a sensory structure in cockroach? এর মধ্যে কোনটা যে ককরোচের আরশুলার সংবেদী গঠন নয়? অ্যানাল সার্সি, proventriculus, antennae, maxillary pulp. The correct answer is proventriculus. In male cockroach, sperms are stored in which part of the reproductive system? যে ককরোচ আরশুলার মধ্যে যে জনন অঙ্গ জননতন্ত্র কোষ কোনখানে সঞ্চিত হয়? ভাস ডিফারেন্স, মাশরুম গ্ল্যান্ড, seminal vesicles, or none of the above. The correct answer is it is stored inside the seminal vesicle. The peritrophic membrane in cockroach arises from. The peritrophic membrane টা কোথায় থেকে উৎপত্তি লাভ করে? Centric, ceca, intestinal wall, cardia, gizzard. The correct answer is it develops from intestinal wall. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum is the major site of protein, lipid, glycoprotein, or none of the above. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum SER is a site of lipid synthesis. Structural lipids of cell membrane are phospholipids, chromolipids, simple lipids, or none of the above. The structural lipids in plasma membrane cell or cell membrane is phospholipids. In higher plants, the number of thylakoid in a granum usually are 5 to 10, 2 to 200, 100 to 150, or D, none of the above. So it is none of the above. It is more than 250. Pits are formed on the cell wall due to lack of. The pits সেটা তৈরি হয় কিসের জন্য? Cell plate, primary wall material, secondary wall material, or D, none of the above. The pits basically formed due to the secondary wall material. The spindle fiber found in cytoplasm are made up of actin, tubulin, myosin, or none of the above. The correct answer is it is the spindle fiber is made up of tubulin. Mannitol is an amino acid, amino alcohol, sugar acid or sugar alcohol. The mannitol is a sugar alcohol. Essential to non-essential amino acids. Select the following: valine, tyrosine, lysine, leucine, methionine, threonine, alanine, cysteine. Essential and non-essential amino acids are valine and tyrosine. Coenzymes NAD and NADP contains biotin, niacin, thiamine or none of the above. The NAD and NADP contains niacin. Which of the following can serve as biocatalyst? Fatty acids, RNAs, polysaccharides or none of the above. So among them, RNA can act as a biocatalyst. RNA can act as a biocatalyst. In competitive enzyme inhibitor, increases Km without affecting Bmax, decreases Km without affecting Bmax, increases Bmax without affecting Km or D, none of the above. The correct answer is increases Km without affecting Bmax. Chromosome duplication without nuclear division is called mitosis, meiosis, endomitosis, amitosis. The chromosome duplication without nuclear division is known as endomitosis. The time period between meiosis 1 and meiosis 2 is called growth phase, interkinesis, interphase or D, none of the above. The time period between meiosis 1 and meiosis 2 is known as interkinesis. During metaphase stage of mitosis, spindle fibers attaches to the chromosome at kinetochore, kinetochore and centromere, centromere, areas adjoining centromere. During metaphase, the spindle fiber attaches at the kinetochore. So if we look at the chromosome structure at the metaphase stage, this is centromere and this region is kinetochore. So this is the region where the spindle fiber attaches. Kinetochore is the region where the spindle fiber gets attached. Cells in this phase of cell cycle are least susceptible to radiation. এর মধ্যে থেকে কোন স্টেজের মধ্যে যে সেলটা রেডিয়েশনে খুব বেশি এফেক্ট হবে না? G1, G2, S or M phase. তো এর মধ্যে থেকে যে লিস্ট সাসেপ্টেবল হবে M phase, কারণ M phase-এর মধ্যে ক্রোমোজোমস আর হাইলি কনডেন্স। এই জায়গার মধ্যে রেডিয়েশনের এফেক্টটা সচরাচর কম হবে। হুইচ অফ দ্য ফলোয়িং ফাংশন ইজ নট পারফর্ম বাই মাইটোকন্ড্রিয়া? এর মধ্যে থেকে কোনটা মাইটোকন্ড্রিয়ার কাজ নয়? এটিপি সিনথেসিস, স্টেরয়েড সিনথেসিস, নিউক্লিক অ্যাসিড সিনথেসিস, polysaccharide degradation. So among them, the correct answer is polysaccharide degradation is not a function of mitochondria. Rest of the three is a function of mitochondria. Mitochondria বাকি সব কাজ করছে except polysaccharide degradation. Apoplastic path of transport of water in roots through cell wall, intercellular space and cell wall, intercellular space, none of the above. Apoplastic pathway is involved in intercellular space as well as cell wall. An anti-transpirant in plant is phenyl mercuric acid, dimethyl mercury, potassium iodide or none of the above. The anti-transparent is phenyl mercuric acid. Is a anti-transparent. When a cell is plasmolysed, which equation is correct? dpp is equal to Tp, dpp is equal to OP, dpp is equal to OP minus Tp, dpp is equal to OP plus Tp. The correct answer is dpp is equal to OP. Diffusion pressure deficit is equal to osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure. That is OP. In plants, deficiency symptoms of nitrogen and potassium are visible first in buds, young leaves, roots, senescent leaves. Nitrogen and potassium deficiency টা প্রথম কোথায় দেখা যায়? In senescent leaves. Leaves will become yellow. The enzyme nitrogenase is a copper ferrous protein, molybdenum ferrous protein, nickel ferrous protein, or none of the above. It is a molybdenum ferrous protein. Molybdenum ferrous protein. Nitrogen fixation in root nodule of Alnus is brought about by Frankia, Azorhizobium, Clostridium, or none of the above. So nitrogen fixation in root nodules of Alnus is brought about by Frankia. Which of the following plant pigment is water soluble? এর মধ্যে থেকে কোন পিগমেন্টটা ওয়াটার সলিউবল, ওয়াটারের মধ্যে দ্রবণীয় হয়? ক্লোরোফিল, xanthophyll, phycobilin, carotenoids. The correct answer is phycobilin. Phycobilin is water soluble. It is water soluble. ওয়াটারের মধ্যে ডিজলভ হবে। Kelvin cycle is reductive carboxylation, oxidative carboxylation, oxidative decarboxylation, or D none of the above. Kelvin cycle is basically এর মধ্যে থেকে কোনটা? Kelvin cycle এর মধ্যে যেটা হয় that is reductive carboxylation. কার্বন ফিক্সেশন হবে, কার্বন ফিক্সেশন, that is a reductive process. Reductive carboxylation is the correct answer. Element essential for evaluation of oxygen during photosynthesis is এর মধ্যে কোন মৌলটা দরকার হয় যে অক্সিজেন যেটা বাই প্রোডাক্ট হিসেবে ফটোসিনথেসিস থেকে আমরা পাচ্ছি? সো এসেনশিয়াল এলিমেন্টস ফর ইভলিউশন অফ অক্সিজেন ডিউরিং ফটোসিনথেসিস ম্যাগনেসিয়াম, ম্যাঙ্গানিজ, ফেরাস, মোলিবডেনাম. দ্য কারেক্ট অ্যান্সার ইজ ম্যাঙ্গানিজ. ম্যাঙ্গানিজ Cl এই দুইটা মৌল খুব প্রয়োজনীয় photolysis of water. Photolysis of water. During respiration, protons accumulate in mitochondria at outer membrane, inner membrane, intermembrane space, or matrix. During respiration, the protons accumulate in intermembrane space. The mitochondria structure টা আমরা দেখি কোনভাবে প্রোটনস গুলা এখানে জড়ো হয়, দ্যাট ইজ ইন্টার মেমব্রেন স্পেস। ইন্টার মেমব্রেন স্পেসের মধ্যে প্রোটনস গুলা জমা হয়। The enzyme which helps in transfer of phosphate group from ATP to carbohydrate is phosphatase, phosphorylase, ATPase, catalase. The correct answer is phosphorylase. They transfer phosphate groups. When tripalmethyne is used as a respiratory substrate in respiration, the RQ is the tripalmethyne is a fat. The options are less than 1, 1, 0.7 or infinity. The fat has a RQ of 0.7. The correct answer is C. The plant hormone kinetin is an adenine derivatives, terpene, carotenoid derivatives, or D, none of the above. The hormone kinetin is an adenine derivatives. It's an adenine derivatives. The wavelength of light absorbed by PR form of phytochrome is 620, 680, 720, or none of the above. The correct answer is 680. That is red light. It absorbs red light PR and it converts into PFR form, and it is subsequently converted into PR form when they absorb 720 nanometer. During germination of stored food in the seed is mobilized by cytokinin, ethylene, gibberellin, abscisic acid. So the correct answer is gibberellin. It helps in the mobilization of stored food. Argentefin cells in human being are found in small intestine, large intestine, liver, or stomach. Argentefin cells are found mainly in small intestine. The food material in intestine are absorbed through cilia, flagella, villi, or none of the above. The correct answer is villi. The food materials are absorbed by the villi. Emphysema is a pulmonary disease, cardiovascular disease, neural disease, or none of the above. So among them, the emphysema is basically a pulmonary disease. Blood carries CO2 mainly in which form? HbCO2, NaHCO2, carbonic acid, or D, none of the above. The blood carries CO2 in the form of HbCO3. Thickening of arteries due to cholesterol deposition is known as arteriosclerosis, rheumatic heart, cardiac arrest, or D, none of the above. So the thickening of arteries due to cholesterol deposition is known as arteriosclerosis. Duration of human cardiac cycle is approximately of 0.6 seconds, 0.8 seconds, 0.1 seconds, or 0.6 minutes. The correct answer is 0.8 seconds. The correct answer is 0.8 seconds. Which of the following is not secreted in urine? Niacin, ascorbic acid, cholecalciferol, thiamine. The correct answer is cholecalciferol. Is not secreted in the urine. The excretory material of marine bony fish is urea, ammonia, amino acid, or protein. The correct answer is ammonia. The U-shaped bone present at the basal vocal cavity is malleus, ethmoid, sphenoid, hyoid. The correct answer is hyoid. U-shaped bone present in the vocal cavity is known as hyoid. Which of the following is not involved in muscular contraction? Actin, troponin, calcium ion, or none of the above. The correct answer is none of the above. The number of occipital condyles in men is 1, 2, 3, or 4. The correct answer is 2. The number of occipital condyles in men is 2. The part of human hindbrain responsible for hand-eye coordination is pons varuoli, thalamus, cerebellum, or none of the above. The correct answer is cerebellum. Meissner's corpuscles occur in skin, tongue, brain, or nerve cell. The correct answer is the Meissner's corpuscles occurs in skin. Decreased levels of estrogen is common cause of myasthenia gravis, tetani, arthritis, osteoporosis. The correct answer is myasthenia gravis. The gastrointestinal hormone which stimulates insulin secretion is gastрион, gastric inhibitory peptide, secretin, or none of the above. The correct answer is gastric inhibitory peptide. The gastrointestinal hormone which stimulates the secretion of gastric inhibitory peptide. Vegetative propagation in Pitsia occurs by runners, stolon, offset, or sucker. The vegetative propagation in Pitsia basically occurs through offset. So with that we have completed the half of the previous year question paper of STPGT 2018. So in the next video we will continue solving the rest of the part of this STPGT previous year question paper of 2018. So do stay tuned for the upcoming videos, and do not forget to subscribe to this channel, and do share with your friends and families who are preparing for the STPGT examination in the future, so that they can also be benefited from this video. So thank you all.